Here's a video on character creation in Elden Ring. So when you pick whatever class you like the look of, the character base, you'll be prompted whether you want to choose body type A or B. A is male, B is female. So pick whatever one you like the look of. So I'm going to go male here. Name, I'm going to type in my channel name or my gamer name, which is Grub Magnet. So we've got type A. Then we've got the age. So you can choose the age of your character here. So we can go age, young, mature, or aged. I'm going to go mature. I feel kind of mature sometimes. The origin we can see is the confessor. We've got the ability to have a keepsake, and I suggest you use this because this will give you a slight perk in the game. So you've got the Crimson Amber Medallion, which will increase maximum HP. You can get this to get yourself some runes, which is the in-game currency. A golden seed, which will help to improve your sacred flasks. What that basically means is you'll get an extra charge of a flask, which is used for healing or replenishing your magic bar. You've got the Fanged Imp Ashes, which would be some ashes that would help you. You can summon these basically to give you a hand, but you need something before you can start using these. So I don't think it's that useful at the beginning. The Cracked Pot, which helps you throw certain items. A Stone Sword Key, which can help you open sealed doors. Bewitching Branch, I'm not even sure what they do. I never picked them. The Boiled Prawn, which boosts physical damage negation. And Shabiri's Woe, which attracts enemies' aggression. So if you want everything to chase you, you can go with that one. If you're beginning out, I suggest you go with the Crimson Amber Medallion, which will give you a little bit of a HP boost whilst you level up your character. This is not a massive decision, so I would go with that. We've then got the option to choose a base template and a detailed appearance. The base template, as you can see here, we've got the classic warrior look. We've got the Truth Seeker here, and you can rotate around with your right stick here to see what this looks like. We've got the Aristocrat, the Loner, the Northerner. We've got the Seafarer here, the faraway from a face from the faraway isolated land of reeds where blood is a familiar sight, the Draconian, the Night Folk, or the Newman. So these are basically just ones. It doesn't really matter which one you go for, but where we've got a different look. Mainly the skin color is changed. So I'm going to just stick with the warrior here. The detailed appearance is where you can start changing other things about here. So we've got the age. I'm going to go with mature here. And then we've got voice, so you can go with different voices here. You can always come back to this later, so it doesn't matter, which one of these you pick. It's up to you. You can alter the skin color here and pick a different color if you so wish. So let's say we want that one, just for example. One thing about here is you can hit Y and go crazy on the color. So if you want a yellow or a green character, that's entirely possible if you so wish. You can alter the face and the hair. So we've got face structure here, and we've got a lot of option on how we can adjust things like the facial balance. So you can go in and adjust things like, nose size. We could go to the, if you want to then confirm, you hit OK, and then that's done. We could go with all sorts of stuff here, and you can spend a lot of time on it. But some of the things you're going to want to look at, for example, might be less about here, unless you want to really get into this, but more about what hair color you want. So these are the bigger ones that you could change here. So if we wanted, say, a darker color for me, there we go. I could change things like the luster, the roots. There's also different hairstyles, so we can go into here and pick a hairstyle that we like. And we've got more male type styles, those short styles, or the longer female styles. So let's go with something like that. Half the time you're going to have a helmet on anyway, so this doesn't really matter that much, but it's entirely up to you. You can go in and mess with the eyebrows, the facial hair, so we can say whether we want to have a beard or not. There's some fearsome looks to all your characters here, so you can go with whatever you like the look of here, and whether you want to change different beard colors and things like that. We can go really into town with things like eyelashes and eyes and skin features, cosmetics, tattoos. So we could have a tattoo on the character like here, which is more like scars. So these ones here, as you can see, but you could have some of these as tattoos as well. You can use a left trigger and right trigger to zoom in and out, so you can see what these are looking like as well. And again, if you don't like one of these, you can always change them later, but it's entirely up to you how you do this. You could even have an eye patch if you want. So, you know, you could do that sort of stuff as well and change the eye patch color. You could also have similar faces and just flick through these and see whether there's anything you prefer the look of to pick for your character before you move forward with it. So let's say we're happy with that. And then I can back out of here. I can also do the same sort of thing with the body. So we can say whether we want standard muscular or muscular. So we can go more muscular like this. We can play around with things like the legs. And you can see they're getting larger or smaller depending on how I mess around with this. If you want to come back out of there, you can do that. There's also bigger jumps. You can use LB and RB to go bigger or smaller here if you so wish. So again, this doesn't really matter that much because most of the time your body is hidden with your armor, but it gives you some idea of what your character would look like if you are using something that's more scantily clad or you are insisting in running around in your pants. That's also an option. You can also save to favorites or load a favorite here. So lots of things you can go with. Once you're happy with that, though, you come back out of there. So we've gone to detail appearance. We went through base template and everything is all good. So we're all good to go. You just want to check whether you're happy. You can see when we put the armor on, we can't even see the character that much. So depending on what armor you're going to be wearing, it doesn't really matter too much. You are free to take off your helmet if you wish. So maybe the face is something you want to spend more time with. But you can have a little look at this later in the game. You have to get probably a couple of hours in before you can access an area where you can go and change your character again. So don't worry too much about it. Once you're happy though, you go down to finish, choose finish, starting game with this character, yes, and we are done. So I'll save the character. We will then go into the launch part of the game. I hope that was of use to you. Thanks so much for watching.